It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good evening and welcome to NCW Life Channel News. I'm Eric Granstrom filling in for Steve Hare. A few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The Spartan fire swells to over 4,000 acres. A fire at the Wenatchee Goodwill had a quick response from crews today, and a Wenatchee woman was injured in a crash in Grant County. Later on, we'll have sports, our feature story out of Chelan, and your weather forecast with Dan Kutz. Calmer weather today has helped firefighters suppress a series of lightning-sparked brush fires. Both the Spartan fire in Chelan County and the Sutherland Canyon fire in Douglas County started during Monday afternoon's thunderstorm. We spoke with Public Information Officer Holly Craik on fire activity overnight.
The Spartan fire experienced some limited growth overnight. Fire lines that were constructed or tied into existing roads held. So that's really keeping the fire to the north of Clockham Road and west of Alcoa Highway there. Currently, firefighters are continuing to engage the fire where it's safe to do so. However, they are, again, seeing active fire behavior with some increased winds and the sun warming up those grasses that are available to burn.
So as we get into today, where are we on containment? Last we heard was about 10%, and what's the plan of attack for today?
So we're still looking at about 10%, both on the Spartan fire and the Sutherland Canyon fires, mostly due to the fact that we are still assessing and gathering intel as far as size and spread and mapping, relying on air resources quite heavily to do that for us. So those folks are working with the new incident management team that arrived this morning to design those action plans, to engage the fire where it's safe to do so, and to continue point protection around any structures or homes that might be threatened in those areas.
Speaking of structures, have we had any losses in that regard? And also give us an update, if you could, on evacuations.
So evacuations have not changed since yesterday. We're still looking at level 2 evacuations from the Chelan County Sheriff on the Spartan fire, and level 1 evacuations, that lowest level of evacuation on the Southland Canyon fires from the Douglas County Sheriff. So continuing to work with those. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question? In
reference to any structure loss or anything like that.
There have been no reports of any structures lost or damaged at this point in time. We are continuing to assess, any grazing fences or anything else that might have been singed as the fire moved through the area. But we have not had any reports of structures damaged or lost.
We were hearing some social media comments last night, as far as especially in reference to the Canyon fire, the Sutherland Canyon fire, as far as cattle and livestock that were needing to be moved. Do you have any word on that, and if there's any place that's been set up for people to go if they do have livestock?
We're currently working with our crop raiders. The American Red Cross, for example, is on standby, and we will certainly, as a team, work to activate those resources as we need to. Those reports have not yet come into the incident management team, but we are preparing for those, knowing that these fires might continue to grow and spread over the next couple days.
Can you describe the challenges for the crews that are actually, physically working this fire, as far as terrain, environment, heat, bees, snakes, that type of thing? Anything else that they're facing?
So there's lots of hazards out there commonly associated with wildland firefighting. We are looking at some elevated temperatures today, upper 80s, low 90s. So being very cautious about heat stroke, heat exhaustion, fatigue, those type of issues. In addition, this is wildland areas, so there's definitely rugged terrain out there, some canyon areas that we're currently not placing resources into because it's simply not safe to do so. And then there are some of the other environmental hazards out there, like rattlesnakes and other things that we're just continuing to have our situational awareness high and be prepared medically should something arise in regards to that.
Can you describe for our viewers, when you say incident command coming in and state mobilization, what that means? Because the initial folks that were working the fire were Chelan-Douglas County resources. I know that there were some other resources that came in from the vicinity here, but what does that mean when you get state mobilization?
So essentially, state mobilization and having an incident management team comes in brings additional resources and organizational support to the boots out there on the ground. So anytime you mobilize 200-300 firefighters in any given location, you're thinking about the food that it takes to feed those folks. Where are they going to sleep? What are they going to eat? How are we going to take care of them? The maps and the plans that we need to produce so that we can develop effective strategies. All of those plans and logistics take resources, and that's really what the team will come in to do. State mobilization also helps by mobilizing resources from across the state of Washington beyond what any local area would be able to support.
Palisades Road was reopened, but motorists are advised to be on the lookout for fire apparatus in the area. A level 1 evacuation advisory remains in place for about 25 homes in the area. For more information on these fires, visit our website at ncwlife.com. Wenatchee fire crews were quick to douse a fire this morning behind the Goodwill Industries building on South Mission Street. The fire was located in an outdoor trash dumpster located behind the building in a storage area. The cause of the fire is under investigation. No structural damage reported and no injuries. A Wenatchee woman was injured in a crash in Grant County Monday afternoon. State troopers say it happened when 40-year-old Maura Schlee was driving southbound on State Route 243 about 10 miles south of Desert Air. She lost control of her pickup truck, causing it to roll over off the highway. She was transported to Cadillac Medical Center for treatment. Chelan POD commissioners Monday affirmed support for Power Benefit Project funding for the rest of 2017 and 2018. Board members allocated $4 million for 2018. That includes $2.5 million for fiber network expansion and continuing the day use parking pass for POD parks managed by the state. Analyst for the Chelan POD, Micah Lenderman, gave the commissioners a breakdown of the budget during the meeting.
Setting aside $4 million in funding for public power benefits in 2018. And then with respect to 2017, the first bar you see, assigning $1.25 million. $1 million of that would be to the Rocky Reach Visitor Center. $250,000 would be for the Hydro Research Institute. Then the second bar, 2018, be about $2.8 million assigning funds in total. The majority of that is fiber. Another $250,000 for the Hydro Research Institute, and about $35,000 for the Parks Day Use Pass.
Coming up, new retail outlet is slated to open its doors in East Wenatchee, and Washington Federal consolidates its Wenatchee branches. I'm Eric Grandstrom, and you're watching NCW Life Channel News.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.
Welcome back. Chelan County Port District is now a financial partner in the campaign to add a nonstop flight from Pangbourne Airport to the San Francisco Bay Area. At their meeting last week, Port Commissioners approved a $50,000 port contribution to the Air Service Investment Program. NCW Live's Steve Hare spoke with the Port's Business Development Director, Craig Larson, who says that brings them even closer to their $400,000 goal.
So we're $50,000 and some change away. Very excited about the response. Have pledges from 5 counties from across central Washington, a couple pledgers from central California, actually, that would like to see the direct service to support what they do as well. So very happy with it, looking for a few more pledgers, but we are very confident we're going to get there.
Fantastic. So have you been in contact with any of the carriers out there, and are they aware of what you're doing?
We have spoken with Alaska and let the staff at their headquarters know that we're undertaking this effort, but kind of the formal let's talk about direct service doesn't happen until we get our local funding in place and get the federal grant in place, and then we start having the serious sit down with the potential airline partners on the route and see if we can strike a deal.
The investment program shares the financial risk with the airline and shows the region will use the new service. An airline will invest about $8 million to start daily jet service over a 2-year period. The community funds will be used as a match for a federal grant worth $750,000 to share the risk with the airline. The grant deadline has been extended, so the fundraising continues. For information on the Destination San Francisco Bay Area, contact Craig Larson at 509-663-5159. A new retail tenant opens its doors at the Wenatchee Valley Mall in East Wenatchee this week. On Thursday and Saturday, the grocery outlet will be holding a grand opening of its new Bargain Market in the building formerly occupied by Food Pavilion. The new discount food store opens with a formal ribbon cutting ceremony and a free lunch courtesy of Dilly Deli. Thursday's ceremony starts at 10 a.m. We'll say goodbye to Washington Federal's downtown Wenatchee branch office. Bank officials have announced they will be consolidating its operations with a new building to be developed on North Wenatchee Avenue. The new central bank will be located on the site of its now closed branch at the corner of North Wenatchee Avenue and 9th Street, and demolition was set to begin in August. The new bank is targeted for opening the summer of 2018. The 100-year-old institution began business in Wenatchee, replacing Bank of America at the 2 locations in 2013. You're watching NCW Life Channel News. Coming up next, I'll have your sports update and our feature today on a new business opening in downtown Chelan.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life Channel.
And welcome back. Hope your Tuesday night is going well. I didn't feel like walking all the way over to our sports set to do the sports, so I'm just going to stay right here. The lefties are coming. The lefties are coming. Yes, the Port Angeles lefties are coming to town to begin a 3-game series at Paul Thomas Senior Field tonight. Game time 7:05 as the Apple Sox head into the series with an 11-10 record, currently sitting in 4th place in the West Coast League's Northern Division. Lefties are in last place with a 9-14 mark so far. In West Coast League play on Monday, it was Yakima Valley down in Gresham 10-6. Kelowna got by Cowlitz 8-2. Corvallis beat Victoria 9-1. So there you have the standings. Bellingham atop at 13-8. Kelowna a half game back at 13-9. Walla Walla 3rd place, while the Wenatchee Apple Sox 4th place at 11-10 on the season. Well, it's been a busy off-season for the Wenatchee Wild. Proud members of the British Columbia Hockey League conducted their June camp at the community rink at the Town Toyota Center, June 18th through the 20th. Approximately 80 players divided into 4 teams competing for the small area games and full-scale games as coaches and staff watch to evaluate players as the process of constructing the roster for the upcoming season continues. Players will report to Wenatchee on August 21st as mandated by the BCHL. Regular season is expected to begin, or actually the schedule that is expected to be released here by the league this week. Preseason games will be announced in the near future as well. The Wild have been moved to the Interior Division for this coming season and will face each of their 6 new division rivals 6 times. Also busy time for the office staff for the Wenatchee Wild. Arch Ecker, a recent guest on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, talked with Dan Kuntz about what we really don't think about.
If you think about it, when you show up to a Wenatchee Wild or any game, beginning of season, right? It's opening night, you walk in the door, and when you park, there's guys telling you where to park. When you buy your ticket, there's probably a coupon on the back of the ticket. When you walk in the door, you're handed a program. It's got a bunch of ads on it. You walk in there, there's banners hung. There's fresh logos painted in the ice. There's signage around the rink. All that stuff, how does that happen? Doesn't magically happen overnight. The whole course of the summer is spent in discussions and negotiations with businesses to say, how would you like to partner with us to help expand your brand by associating with a well-known and well-loved entity like the Wenatchee Wild.
As soon as we get that schedule, we'll share it here on the NCW Life Channel. Well, after a much-needed day off yesterday, the Mariners are back at it with the first of 2 games against Philadelphia tonight at Safeco Field. The 7:10 game features James Paxton against the Phillies' Aaron Nola. Paxton 5-2 on the season with a 3.39 ERA. Nola 4-5 with a 4.32 earned run average. There was American League play last night. It was Cleveland pounding Texas 15-9. The Battle of L.A. Angels over the Dodgers 4-0. Houston atop the standings, unbelievably 52-25 on the season. Seattle in third place at 39-39. Just trying to get above that 500 mark. They're just having a tough time doing it. That's a check of sports news here on the NCW Life channel as we continue. It's good business news coming out of Lake Chelan this week as the retail spot, which once housed Company 107 in downtown Chelan, has reopened as Frenchie's Flutes and Fleurs, a French-inspired shop. Our media partners GoLakeChelan.com met with the owners to learn more about the revamped space.
Thank you. That was a great.
Good morning, Lake Chelan. I'm Jillian Foster with GoLakeChelan.com, and I'm here at Frenchie's Flutes and Floors with owner Barb Pierre. Did I say Bob?
We're going French.
and manager Kelly Dorflinger. And it's your official grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony this morning. How are you guys feeling?
Anxious.
Awesome.
Excited.
Now, how long have you spent remodeling the store here, which of course used to be Company 107? It is not Company 107 anymore, right?
No, it's been about since the middle of January.
So about 6 months, really? Wow.
Yeah, how do you like the effect?
It's gorgeous. And tell me, what kinds of things are you going to be offering here at Frenchie's?
Fun, lots of fun, champagne, chocolates, gifts, unique celebration items. We want people.
Go ahead.
That's okay. No, I just want people they're in Chelan to have fun. I want people to come in and just feel effervescent and enjoy themselves.
And one of my favorite things that I've already been in here quite a few times since you guys had your soft opening is your floral section. And it's almost reminiscent of a French floral shop, but tell me what's different about these flowers.
Well, we can do fresh, we can do silk, we can do anything you want. If it's fresh, we need some advance notice, but we'd be happy to do that for weddings. But fortunately, we're super happy. We've already got one wedding booked.
Wow.
And that's something that we're really excited about. This is Barb's dream. This is a vision she's had, and we are super happy that we've been so welcomed by the community to let her live out this dream.
We've had a wonderful, warm welcoming. This last week has been great. I mean, everybody when they come in, they get excited and they're having fun too. So that's what we wanted.
We're concierge service for fun.
Concierge service for fun. What a perfect way to put it. And of course, you're going to be having champagne bellinis here, and people can take those champagne bellinis outside onto the beautiful patio and that's overlooking Wooden Avenue, and they can watch everybody walking up and down just like in France.
It has a very nice little view of Lake Chelan.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, I encourage everybody to come down and check out Frenchie's Flutes and Floors, meet Barb and Kelly, and welcome them to the Lake Chelan community. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's head back to the studio.
We'll be back in just a moment with a recap of today's stories and your weather forecast for North Central Washington.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Welcome back. Calmer weather today has helped firefighters suppress a series of lightning-sparked brush fires. Both the Spartan Fire in Chelan County and the Sutherland Canyon Fire in Douglas County started during Monday afternoon thunderstorm activity. We spoke with Public Information Officer Holly Crate on fire activity overnight. First, on the Spartan Fire, it's only 10% containment, 4,500 acres at this point. 160 firefighting personnel are on the scene fighting that blaze. Overnight, hand crews and dozers successfully held the fire on the north end of Clockham Road, west of Alcoa Highway. The most active fire spread was reported to the southwest. Today, with the return of dry, windy conditions, firefighters and multiple air resources were going to continue to build fire line and engage the fire when it was safe to do so. Firefighters will use existing roads, dozer lines, water drops, and natural features wherever possible to limit the future fire spread in this area. Now, the Sutherland fire in the Palisades area also only 10% contained in that report. 3,000 acres estimated, 75 personnel on the scene. Crews actively work the construction of fire containment lines overnight on 5 separate smaller fires collectively called the Sutherland Canyon Fire. Firefighters were continuing to assess the opportunities to safely engage with the fires as they move through steep, rugged terrain. Evacuations. Level 2 evacuations remain in place for the Spartan Fire along Clockham Road and Kingsbury Road, Moses Carr Road, Ingersoll Road, and the Tarpiskin Road. Level 2 means to be ready to leave in an instant. There are approximately 80 structures threatened in this area. Level 1 evacuations are in place for the Sutherland Canyon Fire from the Columbia River to milepost 10 along the Palisades Road corridor. There are approximately 24 structures threatened there. No report of loss or damage so far and no injuries reported. Traffic also limited to local traffic only beyond milepost 8 along the Alcoa-Malaga Highway. There are no other closures in place at this time for either the Spartan or the Sutherland Canyon fires. Wenatchee fire crews were quick to douse a fire this morning behind the Goodwill Industries building on South Mission Street. The fire was located in an outdoor trash dumpster located behind the building in a storage area. Cause of the fire is under investigation. No structural damage reported and no injuries. A Wenatchee woman was injured in a car crash in Grant County Monday afternoon. State troopers say it happened when 40-year-old Amora Schlee was driving southbound on State Route 243 about 10 miles south of Desert Air. She lost control of her pickup truck, causing it to roll over on the highway. She was transported to Cadillac Medical Center for treatment. Chelan PUD commissioners Monday affirmed support of a power benefit project funding for the rest of 2017 and for 2018. Board members allocated $4 million for 2018. That includes $2.5 million for fiber network expansion and continuing the day-use parking pass for PUD parks managed by the state. Analyst for the Chelan County PUD, Michael Lenderman, gave the commissioners a breakdown of the budget during the meeting.
Setting aside $4 million in funding for public power benefits in 2018. And then with respect to 2017, the first bar you see, assigning $1.25 million. $1 million of that would be to the Rocky Reach Visitor Center. $250,000 would be for the Hydro Research Institute. Then the second bar, 2018, be about $2.8 million assigning funds in total. The majority of that is fiber. Another $250,000 for the Hydro Research Institute, and about $35,000 for the Parks Day Use Pass.
Well, it was another warm one today and a little blustery for firefighters. Dan Kuntz has your weather forecast for North Central Washington.
A relatively quiet early summer weather pattern is expected for the remaining of the week and into the weekend. Afternoon temperatures will be slightly above normal until a quick one-day warm-up occurs on Friday. A weak cold front late Saturday afternoon into Sunday will drive temperatures back down to seasonable norms for the beginning of next week, including Independence Day. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a low of 59 and a west wind 7 to 11 miles an hour with gusts near 20. Wednesday looks very sunny and mild with a high of 85 and a northwest wind around 14 miles an hour. Now, the winds will pick up again on Wednesday night out of the northwest, 11 to 17 miles an hour with gusts near 25 and a low of 60 on Wednesday night. And then beginning Thursday and lasting through at least Monday and probably Tuesday, look for lots of sunshine with afternoon high temperatures going from the mid-90s to the mid-80s with no precipitation in the forecast. And that is your forecast on the NCW Life channel.
Thank you much, Dan. Just a quick note also, when we spoke with Holly Crate, the public information officer for the fires that are burning in our area, I asked her if sometimes the public wants to come forward and offer to bring water or food to the firefighters. And she said, actually, that's not appreciated. The thought is great, but they would rather you not do that and instead focus your efforts on preparing your own home to make sure it's fire safe. Now, the firefighters have located themselves at Wenatchee High School for the battle that ensues. Again, only 10% containment on both of the fires here south of Wenatchee. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call on our news tip line at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Eric Granstrom. Thanks for watching and have a good night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.